Iran is on edge, and now even India is sounding the alarm. Something big may be brewing in the Middle East. The Indian embassy in Tehran has issued a fresh advisory urging all Indian nationals to leave Iran immediately. Not next week. Not when convenient. Now. That's a serious move. According to the advisory, all Indian citizens, students, pilgrims, business professionals, tourists are being told to use any available means to exit the country, including commercial flights. They're being warned to avoid protest areas, stay glued to local media updates, keep passports and ID ready at all times, and remain in constant contact with the embassy. When embassies start repeating evacuation advisories within days of each other, it's not routine bureaucracy. It signals concern, real concern. So what's happening? Tensions between the United States and Iran are rising again. On the surface, Washington and Tehran are engaged in negotiations, talks, diplomatic back and forth. But behind closed doors, the standoff appears intense. The U.S. is reportedly standing firm on its demands. Iran is not backing down, and the region is watching carefully. Meanwhile, the United States has been increasing its military presence in key strategic zones around Iran. Fighter jets, long-range bombers, naval assets, carrier strike groups, strategic positioning that sends a clear message. If diplomacy fails, military options are ready. And here's where things get even more interesting. The advisory comes just as India's Prime Minister is scheduled to visit Israel on the 25th and 26th. That timing is raising eyebrows. Israel, of course, views Iran as its primary regional adversary. Any shift in the U.S.-Iran dynamic directly impacts Israeli security calculations. So the big question is, are we on the brink of another Middle East conflict? Or is this high-stakes brinkmanship, pressure tactics designed to extract concessions at the negotiating table? History tells us U.S.-Iran tensions often escalate through cycles, sanctions, military deployments, proxy conflicts, cyber operations. But direct full-scale war has consistently been avoided. That said, miscalculations happen. And when military assets start clustering in close proximity, the margin for error shrinks dramatically. For Americans watching this unfold, here's why it matters. Iran controls critical access to the Strait of Hormuz, a choke point for global oil shipments. Any conflict could spike oil prices overnight. U.S. forces are stationed throughout the region, in Iraq, the Gulf states, and beyond. Regional allies like Israel and Saudi Arabia would be immediately affected. This is not a distant issue. It's tied to global energy markets, U.S. national security, and geopolitical stability. Right now, there is no official declaration of imminent war, but diplomatic advisories like this don't come out of thin air. Governments issue them when risk assessments change. The coming days will be critical. Watch for movement of U.S. naval assets, statements from the White House or Pentagon, Iranian Revolutionary Guard activity, Israeli security alerts, any breakdown in ongoing negotiations. The Middle East has entered another moment of uncertainty. Whether it turns into a crisis or de-escalates through diplomacy will depend on decisions made in Washington, Tehran, and Jerusalem. For now, the warning signals are flashing. Stay informed. The situation is developing.